Okay guys, step 6 is writing your research paper. Understand that you are going to be writing this in stages. The first step is of course just to put the words on the page, and then all the formatting and the in-text citations and things like that will come a little bit later. So for step 6, think of this as creating your rough draft, or maybe a revised rough draft. So you'll need two documents open. The first one will be the research notes that we've been using up to this point when you gathered information and whatnot. And here are mine opening. And then I'll also need my paper that I set up. It is in your OneDrive English 4 folder down in that research paper. It may also show up under your recent documents. Mine's right here. And it's nice and blank. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if you remember in my planning stage, I kind of put together a little outline down here, and I'm just going to grab it. I'm just going to copy it right from here over to my real paper so that I can use it and keep track of where I am. And also, since my facts are already organized into the right spot, I can work with them a lot more easily. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with an introduction. My introduction only needs to be about 50 to 100 words, and I'll start with the hook. Towering hills and vast deserts, big and is one of the few national parks found in Texas. Okay, now I have two things. The first is that this is not a complete sentence, and that's okay. When I go to write something like this, I'm doing it for impact, I can leave it there like that, or I can add a hyphen at the end of it if I wanted to. But I like it just as a little incomplete sentence. It's kind of an attention grabber. Or I can, you know what, if it bothers me, which it kind of does, nestled, I'm going to go back and change this into with towering hills and vast deserts, comma, there. Now, it's all one sentence. Big Bend is one of the few national parks found in Texas. And then I would write my transition sentence, and then I would go into my thesis. And my thesis is going to be basically the answer to my question. So my original research question, if I look back on my other document, why this thing is not playing along, there we go. My original question was, what would a traveler expect to find in Big Bend National Park? So I'm going to answer that. Let's say, a traveler arriving in Big Bend National Park can expect to find, see, I'm just rephrasing it, miles of strenuous hiking trails along with stunning scenery and a myriad collection, means a varied collection of wildlife. Okay, now that's my thesis. This is what I'm going to tell you about. That's what my research paper is I'm going to tell you all about this. And you can see that because look, here's climate and scenery. I may move it around though, because now I just said hiking trails come first, right? So I may switch my paragraphs around later. But I need a transition still. So this sentence, I may need to go find some facts. I'm going to have to go back and find facts about the desert and the size of that. So I'm just going to leave myself a note to go back and do that. So now I have my intro done. And then I'm going to go into paragraph 1. And paragraph 1 is about climate and scenery, except that I listed hiking first. So I'm going to grab, no, I think I'm going to just leave it. I think it'll be fine. It's a small paper. Big Bend National, no. Yes, Big Bend National Park is known for its wide variety of ecosystems. In the Chisos Mountains The elevation is nearly 8,000 feet, creating a much cooler mountain climate when compared to the desert and creek washes, no, desert below. Okay, I'm going to come back and I need to say that I pulled this, I'm using this fact right here, so I'm going to go ahead and put my 1 at the end of that so that I keep track of where that information came from. It is super important that I keep track of where my information came from. So now I've used this fact, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And then I would go in and add some more. So each of my body paragraphs is going to be, and I'll finish this later, but you don't need to watch me write the whole thing. But your intro needs to be 50 to 100 words. My body paragraphs should be 400 words when it's all said and done. And then my conclusion down here, when I get to my conclusion, it's way down here at the bottom. I'm going to basically summarize what I've said. And I'm going to do that in 50 to 100 words. So it'll be, 4 or 5, maybe 6 paragraphs, depending on how you use. Mine is going to be 5 because I have 3 paragraphs set up here. I might have had 4, I might have had 2, and that's okay. One other thing though, look at there's not a single I in here. This is no I, there's no me, there's no you. This is a formal style paper, so we are talking in third person, like you are kind of floating up in the sky looking down. You're not talking about your personal experiences. I'm not talking about me taking my kids to go hiking here. We're not talking about how you need to go to the desert. It is all third person. No I's, no you's. We're keeping it formal. All right, so I think that's enough to get you going. When you're all said and done, you should have a rough draft, and I'll go ahead and type mine up. But like I said, I don't think you need to watch me type the whole thing.